Florida 104, Alabama 82. A dominant display from the Gators, Riley. Alabama's bigger concern, though, is the health of Grant Nelson. That knee injury. Still not exactly sure what it is. I think we all kind of fear it's an ACL, but that's to be determined. Discuss that at a later date. The Gators were just the better team,
Hmm.
and I think we've been playing with the best team in the country for quite some time now. This was impressive stuff.
I love everything about this Florida team. They're by far my favorite team to watch. I've said it many times. I'll say it again. They play like my favorite Roy Williams teams with a modern flair. They got the two bigs, but all their bigs can dribble, pass, and shoot. I love the story for Micah Hand-Logton coming back from a gruesome injury and
Yeah.
being this great role player. I think Thomas Houck's breakout has been awesome. I love that they're getting production from Urban Klavchar. Hope I said that pronunciation right. And it's crazy that like you can focus on five different dudes before you even get to Walter Clayton, who's the All American. And then you could probably focus on like two or three more dudes before you get to Elijah Martin, who's still good enough to win you a game like he pretty much did today. He was the one I thought that was responsible for kicking Florida into that second gear. He had the
Yeah.
thunderous dunk, made the big three when Florida it was like a close game at halftime. You look up and all of a sudden the Gators are up 10 and they never looked back. Yeah, this Florida team is deep. They're versatile. They freaking guard like
Yes.
crazy. And look, I know Duke is legit. I know Duke has the pros. I know Duke has the depth, but I'm gonna have a really tough time not picking Florida to win it all.
Yeah, like on paper, there are no real holes with this team.
Hmm.
And they've kind of showed that too. The one thing that you could potentially point to is sometimes they've started slow in games and it's cost them. You look at the Georgia game, Georgia loss, the Missouri loss. Both of those were slow starts, but you had six guys in double figures in this game. Klefsar, who you mentioned, like really good European player who's got really good European experience as your ninth guy in your rotation. Like
Insane, man.
they're deep, they're talented, they do everything well. That being said, Bama was right there
Mhm.
until Nelson got hurt. And that was when Florida kind of went on the run and I think that matters. This was, shortly before he got hurt. Grant Nelson had another just massive dunk, and I tweeted out that March Grant Nelson is back.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
who is awesome.
He put, and again, I've tweeted this out. Alex Condon is my favorite big man to watch in the country, just like Florida's my favorite team to watch in the country. Grant Nelson like put him on like a poster. That was a very emphatic, like, hey, remember when I did this Donovan Clingan? Yeah, love you, Condon, but you're not the defender that Clingan was, like, and you got bodied.
It was not one of those like, oh, he dunked on him because the guy was in the area. It was like he went through and over him chest to chest
Yes. Yeah.
on it.
How
Um,
does Grant? How did again? I prayers up for him that it's not as serious as they thought. But like, how does he do this? He's just kind of forgettable for most of the season, then flips a switch when the calendar turns to March.
it's a special thing. It's a special thing, and hopefully he is able to play in the NCAA tournament. If he's not, that's a significant blow for Alabama, which we will talk about if and when we get news about what that's like. But even taking him out of the picture, Sears was inefficient. The
Hmm.
Baron Philon did not play like the guy he was in the first game they played in the SEC tournament. Um, that was a problem. The two guards who you needed to play well really did not. You turned it over 10 times. Like they did some things that were okay, but defensively they weren't where they needed to be, which was a problem. And you didn't get the scoring you needed to from the guards to keep up with it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you mentioned Phylon. He to me, I'm a big Phylon fan. I think he's gonna play for a good while in the NBA. I think his like combination of size, playmaking. Well, not well. The lack of size is actually going to get to my point. His like wingspan, I should say, and the potential to add like muscle plus his
Mhm.
playmaking. I think his jumper's better than expected. But in a game like this, especially this looked like the same way the first time that Alabama played Florida. Like Florida's guards are like grown men.
Yeah,
They're all upperclassmen. I mean, probably some of them are fifth years. It's hard for me to keep track of that. They have that huge front line as well. Like all these dudes just make Phylon look small. And it's not that he's short. Phylon's like 6'3", 6'4". He's just kind of skinny compared to these dudes because he was a freshman ranked in the 30s. You know, he wasn't supposed to be like this this elite one and done type prospect. And even looking at his game log, I mean, he didn't make his first basket until there was 5 minutes left, and Alabama was down 20.
Yeah.
And that's just something like it's kind of a death sentence for the Tide when both Sears and Phylon are off. They're not really going to win any games like that. I love their depth. I think Chris Youngblood stepped up and made some big baskets, but it's too much to overcome when both of your shot creators can't make a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're shorthanded without Nelson too, it
Hmm.
it it throws a wrench into things. Again, his status is going to determine Bama's March upside a lot.
Hmm. Yep.
No questions about Florida's though. Florida's is going to be if they can keep things going in the SEC tournament championship game against Tennessee. There's a full preview for that game on the channel where we talk more about Florida, the keys to that matchup. Let's go check that out, and then like and subscribe.